Hello, and welcome along to the stream tonight. I hope that everyone is doing well. Hello, Maurice, in the chat room. Thank you very much. How are we doing tonight, sir? Oh, Nils is here too. Thank you very much. So I'm assuming that you can all hear me. So it's been a couple of weeks. So I've forgotten everything in terms of how to run this thing. So I hope it's all coming through okay. I can hear Mr. Microsoft. So yeah, I've had a couple of weeks off for one reason or another. So back tonight for first time in I think 3 weeks. And the week before that, we had nothing but problems with my internet connection. It went up and down all through the evening. So I haven't seen any internet problems today so far. So fingers crossed that's all going to keep working. But now that I've said that, obviously the internet's going to go away quite often again. If it does, I apologise. But now, so personal stuff. So I'm now fully vaccinated. My better half is half vaccinated. That's why I wasn't on the stream last week because she was suffering the side effects from her first dose of vaccination. So she is now better and on the mend. So progress being made there. Any sort of light at the end of the tunnel for you folks getting your jabs? Hopefully soon, obviously. So the plan for tonight is I don't really have one, if I'm honest. The last few weeks, both at work and outside of work, has been really busy. Like, I mean, really busy. Out the door with stuff. So I haven't had as much time from an open source perspective as I would have liked. So I think what I'm going to go back to is I'm going to go back to finalizing the release of GitReleaseManager, because I'd said at the end of 3 weeks ago, I'd said that I was going to go and ship it, but I haven't done it. So that's the plan for tonight: is to ship a version of GitReleaseManager and get that out the door, and then I'm open to suggestions if there is anything that we want to look at collectively. If not, I will pick something and try to decide what to work on. I got appointments first shot. That's great news, Nils. Well done. Well done. I hope you don't suffer the same sort of side effects that my wife and I did. For me, it was like a 24-hour thing. I felt really rough after the jab, but it passed quite quickly for me. For my other half, it took a little bit longer, but fingers crossed it won't be too much. I have some good news. There are 3 more birth years to be called before I can get my first. Okay, cool. Funny thing, it will be probably Janssen. Probably be Janssen, which is mixed. I don't really understand what that means. If you remember WinOps, you know why that's an issue. No, I don't remember at all what you're referring to there, Maurice. I'm sorry. But you're getting very close, so that's good. That's very good. The Janssen vaccinate. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, let's hope not then. Hope not. My wife, she actually got a different one from me. So I got the AstraZeneca, and she got the Pfizer, I think. So I don't know if that was just an age difference, or whether the supply changed, but there was a difference between what we both got. Other news. So I was going to say, Nils, have you published that release video that you did, or what's the plan there? Because I wanted to ask, would you have any objections to me adding it? Excuse me. Would you have any would you have any objections to me adding it to the playlist that I have, which is for kind of cake related releases in general. I mean, I can do that. I believe I can do that from a video that's hosted in your YouTube, but I would just link it into my playlist on my one. Hey Kim, how's it going? Good to see you. We're just doing a little bit of a catch up before jumping into things and catching up on the topic at hand, which is vaccinations and where everyone is with regard to getting their vaccinations. Hopefully you might be a little bit further along that path as well. Tired, but otherwise good. That's good. We're keeping you busy. That's the main thing. I cut a bit at the start. Snell's cut a bit at the start and at the end. If you think the background noise is okay, I'll put it. So in all honesty, I didn't hear the background noise that you're referring to. So it didn't cause me any problems. So if I would say go for it. I mean, if you're happy with it, I'm more than happy to have it published. And yes, we'd love to have it added. Okay, cool. I'll get that added in once it's published. Kim, vaccination. I don't expect to get any until at least August. Wow. See, that feels like it's a long way off, but it's really not. I guess we're away to start June, so coming round. You did hear a ring drop. Yes, I'm playing with it as I normally do. I need to stop doing that. Oh, I broke my fidget cube. One of the moving parts kind of came apart, and yeah, I've put it back together, but it's not the same. So I've obviously been fidgeting with it too much. It's quite disappointing, but I guess these things happen. Anyway, so I was going to say, Maurice, is your 3D printer all working again now? Were you able to get it fixed? Because you mentioned that there was issues with it. Is it all working again, or are you still having issues? That's great news. Good stuff. Glad to hear it. There. Okay, but so I had a lot of issues. Oh, that's not good. Well, as long as it's working again, that's the main thing. But doesn't are they common issues, or are these just issues with your particular instance of it, or is it quite common for there to be issues like that? Right, but anyway, moving on a little bit. My plan for tonight, as I mentioned at the start, is to ship GitReleaseManager. So I want to go through the process of the release. What did I do there? The release was removed. Why did it not? I must have multiple of them then. I had originally thought that I was going to get to a release during my week, or weeks as it is now, but I didn't have it. I've had very little time recently. Am I not clicking the right button? Delete this. I've done it. Oh, there we go. Okay, I must have went through them. I had hoped to get them done during the week, but I didn't get a chance to. I mentioned earlier that lots of stuff on both at work and outside of work, so never got a chance to do what I wanted to do. But tonight we're going to ship it. There's one thing I need to do to synchronize some branches up together, because I merged a pull request into develop that I need to move on to the release branch, and then at that point generate the release notes and ship this thing is the plan. Marie's saying a stepper motor dying is not that common, but bearings do get busted. But bearings getting busted seems to be something you should be prepped for. Okay. Yes, it's just something you have to accept. I still haven't bought one. I still haven't thought about buying one. I'll be honest. What was I thinking about buying the other day? Oh, I'm coming around to the idea of a drone, I started following someone on Twitter, not Twitter, Facebook, local person who's a cameraman, and he's showing all of these amazing photos that he's taking with this drone of the scenery and things round about us. It's amazing. I'm loving the idea of getting a drone. I don't know what I would do with it, but obviously I would look to recreating the kind of photos that he's taking, specifically for things I wanted to take. But oh, it's amazing what he's coming up with. If you have a 3D printer, you could print your own drone. That would be, yeah, but no. I think the one that he's got quite a high end one. I think he ended up selling. I went through some of his messages, and he had he was selling his old one for £400, and he was away to buy himself a new one. So I don't know what the scale. I don't know how well drones keep their value, but £400 is not really an entry level drone, because I've seen drones that are like £10 on Amazon. So it's obviously a high end one, and he was getting the new version of it. So he might have been into the thousands, I guess. But I'm liking the idea. I really am. Like, I can't tell you how much I'm liking the idea of doing it. But it's the same old story of not having enough time to do it. Hey Augusto, how's it going? Indeed, it has been a long time. This has been 2 weeks. I've missed 2 weeks, but back today to finish off this release of GitReleaseManager and get it out the door. You can even 3D print a 3D print. So I've heard that one I was aware of. That's very meta. But the trying to remember the name of the drone that he was. I'm gonna go and find it now so I can mention it, and then. Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you that part. I've got some other exciting news, but I'm not ready to tell the public about it yet. A few folks know about it. I think Kim knows about it, or he would have seen it in Slack. But there's some exciting news coming down the pipeline that I'm really, really excited about. But I'm going to keep that one to myself for now. There's a Mavic Air 2 that he's went out and bought. Mavic Air 2. So I was close. £945. See, that's a lot of money, but very, very tempted. I'd have to save my pennies for that one. I'd have to scrimp and save to put some money towards that one. But it was a Mavic Air 2 that he went and bought, and it was a Mavic Air, the original Mavic Air that he was selling for £400. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. Anyway, what was I doing? I remember. So I was going to merge the develop branch, or we're going to look to see where we are with the. So here's the release branch, but I merged something into the develop branch, which is where's the develop branch? Develop branch is this one. I merged approval tests. I merged a PR from Kim 379. So where did that one end up? I'll have to check to see where that one ended up. GitHub.com, Google Snappy. You only need to buy some parts for this one. Oh, hold on, what's that? Down a rabbit hole. Copy. Paste. Snappy is a compression decompression library. It aims to. What was this in relation to? That's the wrong. I wonder where you're going with that, but okay. So, what did I say it was? 379? 379. Where did that issue end up? 379. So that was bug, and it was, so I'm going to have to merge that one in as well. Let's try that again. Copy, paste, snappy, rep wrap. Parametric design for a cheap, self-replicating 3D printer, rep wrap, that snaps together to minimize screws in non-printed parts. Wow. Yeah, that's very meta. Yeah, I'm not buying one of those either. But like I said, I love the idea. I genuinely do. I think it has a lot of promise, and it's only the technology is only going to get better as well, obviously. So it's going to be exciting to watch it and see what comes out of it. So I'm going to merge the develop branch, the current head of the develop branch, into my release branch, so I can bring in the change that Kim made, which was to check to see if there was a YAML file based on the file extension. So handling the YML as well as the YAML when doing some operations on it. I pulled in the approval tests, so we need to get both of those merged then. So let's do that. So that should allow us to do git push upstream, so it's off of there. And git push origin. So I merged the PR the other night when I was just closing down for the evening, really. And I thought about it afterwards. I merged it into the develop branch, but I'd already added it to the 0.12 milestone. So I knew at the very least I was going to have to bring that one in. But I'll bring in the change that you made as well into the release branch. So in theory, that should all build without any issues. So let's make sure that it builds. I have just pushed it, so there should be an active build going over here. The Scriban failure, I haven't looked into why that Scriban. I haven't looked into why that's failing yet, so that's one of the reasons I'm not pulling that one in. So let's make sure that this builds and it builds locally, and if it does, we can generate some release notes and we're going to ship this thing. Marisa saying currently printing something that has 815 layers of 0.2 millimeters. So at 15 hours and 20 minutes, is that what you're saying? Because that's not 15 minutes, 20 seconds, I'm assuming. That's 15 hours and 20 minutes. Yes? It's a long time. A long time. 15 hours, 20, yeah. But you said you only printed when you're monitoring it as well, is that correct? So you'd be pausing that because you don't let it run overnight. You're pausing that. So realistically, that's what, 4-5 days? So there's definitely some issues with some of the PRs failing on at there, but I don't think they all fail on GitHub Actions. No. Look at this one as an example. Yeah. So this is another example. So the GitHub Actions build succeeds, the at there build fails, but in the instance of the Scriban one, it's failing both GitHub Actions and at there. So there's something in that. There's maybe something that's changed. So the Git version thing I still haven't looked into either. I'm almost at the point where it pains me to say it. I'm almost at the point in this instance of turning it off and leaving GitHub Actions. Not quite there yet, but almost. The author's problem. So if only Arthur was here to help, or I spent more time on the Git version repository. But hey ho. Marissa's saying doesn't print overnight, and I can monitor it remote. Okay, cool. So in that, so if you're monitoring it from work, so So yeah, 2 days then? Over the course of 2 days, realistically? Oh, what's this? That one link or? Oh, there's a couple of links. Look. Layer 640. You bring them in. Oh, that build failed. So, and then bring this one in. So what is it? SBU bottom layer 640 of 815. It's a lot of layers. Give you that. Have we broken some unit tests? Or is that just... Oh, build failed. Broken something. It's unfortunate. I was really hoping that this was going to just work. No, hold on. Oh, it was the app.var build that I got a failure on. If you start at 7:30 AM, you have it finished by 10 PM. Early morning start. It's the bottom part of a spool buffer. Cool. Oh. It fail with the same error. It does. We're going to have to go splunking into some unit tests. See what's going on. Because we broken something. A law fail test. Let's have a look. 6 failed. So if we were to go into build artifacts, test results, test coverage. Fortunate. Why did it not? Good. See if we can find that unit test. You missed the middle of what I did. Those are 3. I wasn't. Oh no, I wasn't clear on what that was showing. To be honest, so in respect to, is that not just showing a similar piece of information to the other display? Was there information that was on there that's not on the other one? Projects, organizations, get tools, manager. Yeah, I didn't know if there was any other information on there. I sort of skipped it. Did skip it. See if we can figure out why this unit test is failing. Should create release from milestone using template file. Okay. Let's run this through and see. Now, is that going to let me find it? People let me do it. 45 minutes remaining. Cool. So the layers must be getting smaller if it's only going to take you 45 minutes for the last 100 or so, 100 and something layers. Build succeeded, so let's test this unit test, see what's going on. So, step into builder, built. Let me see, that went straight into the teardown, which would suggest that it threw an exception. So, I don't think we're going to get to there, are we? Test Explorer on this one. Good. Not found exception. Why would that throw a not found exception? What did we break? Run it again. 40 seconds per layer, almost 50 meters of filament. Wow. Wow. That's a lot. I'm trying to think what we would have changed that would break this unit test. Let's take that off of there and let's step into one and say template path, template path. So I think that one will step over. The release notes is release notes, okay. And then the release, this is where we obviously are throwing the exception. So let's step into this, step over that, get release async. I think I went too quickly into that. That itself must be throwing an exception. Once more in reach. Drag. Okay, so it's you still got lots of filament left from that spool. If I run this and then step into this, why? What? I'm missing something here. I need to concentrate on this. If I use an useful, yes. Bug one more time. So run that, and then what we found was if I step into that, we get to this one, and then create release async. Where's that? Create release async is go implementation. So why is this breakpoint not being hit? Why? That trace from very confused as to why we're not getting more time. Debug. So we're calling into the create release from milestone async. So we're going to step into that. So we're in the create release from milestone async. We're going to come all the way down to this one. And then that's going to call us into this one. So we'll step into that one. That takes us into here. Why are we not? Why is that suddenly now working the way I expect it to? So we come into here, which is the get release async. Yes. And then step into that. Then we're VCS provider get release async. So is that the thing that it's calling outside of? No, that's into here. Okay. I seem to remember us changing this code now. So debug. I seem to remember us making a change, and it could be the case that the setup for the unit test just needs to be changed. So let's see what happens. We get to here, create release async, get release async, and then it doesn't get there. Go to implementation. Wonder if it's the whole async thing. So GitHub client, repository release, get all. So let's have a look at the test itself. VCS provider. Oh, hold on. What now? Should create release from milestone using template file. The release notes builder there returned from task the release notes. The get release async returns not found exception. And the create release async used about. Oh no, I remember. The way it was being handled before was the way it was being handled before, it was actually throwing an exception and it was specifically handling the exception. So that's not what we want anymore, because we follow this path. So go to definition on here was, so there's the release notes builder, build release notes is returning the release notes, fine. And then this one was then calling GetReleaseAsync. If release equals null, then create it. So therein lies the problem, I think. This doesn't want to return a not found exception anymore. This should return null. That then says release equals null, then create the model, call create release async, which then returns the release. Okay, let's run this. So I think that was the change. And then we have some assertions regarding how many times things were called, etc. So let's see where we get to with this. Value cannot be null, parameter name exception. Line 8, hold on. Doesn't like us. I don't think it likes us returning null here. Maurice is saying, oh my, they just changed the vaccinate. People are getting Pfizer. That's ones. That's good. They've just changed the vaccinate people. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. Step. That's, how do I return a null? How do I return null in setup? Not letting me return a null here. Ask from exception, release null. Because what we found was, we follow this, go to implementation. What we want in here is if the release is null, so the call to go to implementation here, get release async, first or default, release. Can I not? From result. Service. Get release async. Get release async. This one. I want that to return null. Why am I not allowed to return it? Oh no, hold on. Turn from result null. Ask string type arguments for method. Oh, okay, so let's put this back on then. There we go. Okay, let's try that. Run. Now, if this works, it might still fail because of the assertions on what's called, but get there. Ooh, got a successful test. Okay. So that makes sense to me. So that was one. The other one was should create release from milestone. Should create release from milestone. I suspect it's going to be a similar thing. So yeah, we don't want an exception. So we want from result. When the release can't be found, it goes ahead and creates it. So let's go ahead and run this guy. See if that helps. So you still haven't got a date for when you're getting it released, but it's now telling you you're getting the one that you want. Is that right? If so, that's great news. Okay, so that one succeeded as well. Should create release from input file. Should create release from input file here. I think it's this one. From result null. And I probably should have run these to make sure that they were failing first. Oh, that's even better. Good stuff. Still thinking. Let's go. Okay, that's that one fixed. That's 3. This one I'm going to. And this one's a different one. So we might have to run this differently. Control F. This one. No, it's not in there. So Control Shift F. Paste. They are doing 2 to 3 batches of 2 years a week, so I guess Friday or the beginning of next week. Cool. So I wonder what's going. Oh no, it's just very similar. Should throw an exception on getting release for non-existent tag. So we're expecting it to throw an exception, but if we run this, we're obviously not getting an exception. Let's see what we did here. See if we can reason about this. See what we've done. So we're running the build and it's running the test, and then test explorers then saying rid of all the happy ones, leaving just the failed ones. So should throw an exception. Blah blah blah. Should throw GitReleaseManager not found exception, but did not. So we are asserting that it should throw. So we're now saying get release async. So it shouldn't throw an exception anymore. It should return null. Right, isn't it? If we go to implementation on this, then turn mapper. So it's a very similar thing. So we're not saying that should dot return should equal. No, what do we want to do here? Well, we should say should not throw. Let's put that in to start with. Should not throw async there's an inherent expectation, so it's wrapping that around there. Not throw async. Yeah, that's still valid. And assign. Okay, should not throw. Then how do we get the value out of it? So let's take this. There's no exception, so let's remove that part. Should return null on getting a release for a non-existing tag. Fine. Let's do var release is equal to this one. Then release dot should be null. I don't think I want. Hold on. Wait here. This guy again. Run. 22 minutes remaining. Would be really explicit word if it should fail now. Hope I did not jinx it. So what happens? So if something were to go wrong at this point, can you kind of, I don't know, do away with the line that broke or the layer that broke and start again from that point? Or is it literally scrap it and start again? Because I agree, that would be annoying. Short answer is it depends. Well, that doesn't bode well. The should throw an exception on getting release. Why would it throw an exception on getting a release? I don't think we want that anymore because we don't want it to do that. Shouldn't do that. I don't think. It used to be the case that it would throw an exception if it didn't exist. The tag name here is that, and we haven't set it up so that it returns, or we have set it up, should return null, should return null on getting a release. Task from exception. So it's throwing exception. we should probably run that just to make sure that it's doing what I think it's doing. Go back to the Test Explorer, see what it does. All down in here, should return null, should throw API exception, but did not. But that's because if we go into here now, go to implementation, then yes. So previously we were explicitly asking for a single release.get, but this method wants to return a single release that has a tag name that is requested. The obvious thing to do here is to use repository.release.get. However, this doesn't return a release if it hasn't been published yet. As a result, we get all of them and then filter down. So this throwing of an exception is actually not what we're doing anymore, because that's not actually being called anymore. But the work is the same. So var release is equal to await of that, and then release dot should be null. Take out one of those close. And then we run this guy. If the failure is at the end of the layer, clean failure, one could slice the object starting at the layer it stopped at and print from there. You could use superglue to stick them together. If it would fail with a blob, big mass of filament hanging from the extruder, or spaghetti, self-explanatory, then you are got it. So I'm assuming that the bond that you would get by supergluing two parts together is not as strong as if it was bonded with the filament. Is that correct? Should get release. I'm hoping that 6 is just from a different, depends on the super glue. That's fair. Should get run test. Well, that's not pretty. Copy. Yeah, that doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. I'm assuming you have to wait for all of that to cool before you can touch it. Is that right? Or end substitute dot exception dot receive calls expected to receive exactly one matching get. So that is in here. Await repository release received one get, but we're not doing that anymore. So what we're doing instead is we are calling, go to implementation, we are calling release.getAll. So if we wanted to keep that together, then get all is owner and repository. That's this one. So owner and repository. Then that should be the case. So if I run that guy. No, you need to remove it with a heat gun. There are wires in that blob. If you do it wrong, you're looking at 20 to 100 euros repair. That doesn't bode well. Fun and games. This is all the side of stuff that you don't think about or hear about from the 3D printing world side of things. So I'm going to run all of these tests again, hopefully. Run tests. I want to run them all. Got a Yeah, I was going to say that link didn't post well at all because it doesn't look right. Didn't flow through correctly, I don't think. Test run finished. Okay, so let's do this then. One more time. One more time. Close some of these. We're waiting on the build. See if it works this time. Oh, I've just seen a Slack message from Nils. Thank you, Nils. Publish the video here. JetBrains has not finished reviewing the version. Okay. How long does it normally take, Nils? It's been a few days now, isn't it? Oh wow. When a 3D print goes horribly wrong. Oh, that's something one. Copy. When a 3D print goes horribly wrong. So what happened there? I don't understand. Did it just... I can't even envision what... Did all the coordinates start going wrong and it's just... Oh, so what the printer's been asked to do is wrong. It's not that it failed, it's that the instructions that it was given are not possible. Is that right? They say up to 2 working days. I released on Friday, so today it's on this. Okay, got it. Could be, or it knocked the print off the bed. Gotcha. Oh, so you've printed something, and then in moving, the print head moving, it's inadvertently knocked something over that then results in it printing on midair. Interesting. I guess all these things you don't think about. I mean, so with aside from the latter part, if you're using a print that someone's done before, there's a good chance that it will work unless you've tinkered with it. So you're only at the behest of the something else, some other factor coming into play. Interesting. Yeah, it's all fascinating. It really is. I wouldn't have expected it to the end result to be like that, but yeah, I guess it all makes sense. And this is where obviously monitoring of the print comes into its own. So rather than waste it, because I'm assuming all this filament wasted at this point, you can't recycle this filament. It's gone. So if it started doing that, you would want to halt the print as soon as possible, correct? Wow. So if you've just started a 15-hour print and something goes wrong 10 minutes into it, then you would waste 14 and a bit hours worth of filament. That's a lot of waste, I guess. Okay, so that test seemed to pass. So let's quick sanity check of what we've changed. We changed the name of the tests to reflect what they're actually doing. It didn't, so it didn't return an exception. Did that without exception. So let's say build fix unit tests as a result of changes. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna have to do this. Corey told me, or he showed me. There we go. Look. So this is something. So I use Git extensions predominantly for a lot of my stuff in terms of viewing commits, viewing history of commits, creating commits, etc. But one of the things I've seen people do is that as you're typing in here, as you get over the 72 characters that are allowed, it automatically wraps around onto the next line. And for the longest time, I had no idea how that happened. But Corey on the team then told me that if I come into here and go to commit validation, maximum number of characters on first line, 50, maximum number of characters per line, 72, auto wrap commit message, yes, and then you say okay. So now when you type, it automatically wraps it round onto the next line without me having to go to into the first character of yellow and hitting return. Makes my life so much easier. As a result of changes to it really is. It made my day when Corey showed me how to do it. I was like, love it. So I'll pass it on. Still depends on a lot of things. Usually you download an STL, that's the instructions on how the build makes, and you need to slice that into G code for your print. Oh, interesting. So, so would you be able to find a specific one thing that's already sliced into a set of G codes for your specific printer, or would you still need to download the STL and do that conversion yourself? Or would you be able to borrow work from someone else that's got the same printer as you? As a result of changes to how a release is found from GitHub, it is no longer the case that an exception is thrown, but rather if a specific release can't be found, it simply returns a null. The unit tests were updated to reflect this change in functionality. Spelling mistakes. Select GitHub. That's not a spelling mistake. Can we add that in? We should add GitHub into And then we're going to go ahead and commit that because we're ready. Okay, so let's do git push upstream. We'll let that build run and see if that works. And if that works, then I think we're going to ship. Lisa's saying there are sources where you can download those G-code files. However, there are stories of malicious, oh my goodness, G-code files permanently changing settings in your firmware. For example, making your printer slow. Really? Only way to recover. That's just mean. That's just mean. So the same thing can't be done with an STL file then. So you're compiling from, you're running the build essentially to generate those G-code files from the STL file, and then from there putting it onto your printer. I guess that makes sense. Safety first, I guess. But yeah, that's just mean. Why would you do that? Try to think where we're going to go next if we have time left, or it might get to a point where we come to a natural stopping point and I might just stop the stream, but we'll see about getting the release out and then we'll decide what we're doing after that. So I'm going to take this off stream just a minute to see if I can confirm whether or not I have added the environment variable for doing the generation of the release notes. Let's see what I've got in here. So GitHub EAT is that. Whose token is that? See if it's the right one. Copy. Tools. Tools bot. Who created the last release that I did? It was the Git Tools bot. So what to do? Here. Print completed. Woohoo! So there's no failures. You didn't jinx yourself. Good to hear. Let's try this one. Okay. No, let's not do that. Let's go to. Oh no, I can't do that either, can I? Can I? Well, look. Here. Here. I'm just going through my app there settings to see if I can see the environment variable that's currently being used. I'll use that one there. So get open this one. Now this one could well be out of date. But let's give it a try. Apply. Okay. Close. And let's. I think we're in a position that we can bring this back. I don't think I've given the game away on any personal access tokens, which is good. And then the build is still building. Good sign. Marisa saying, another story I read was someone downloading a G-code file that moved the nozzle to -20, so 20 millimeters, resulting in destroying the nozzle, PEI sheet, and their print bed. 200 euros damage. Oh, that's just horrible. That's the 3D printer equivalent of the planes in Die Hard. That's just mean. Got to wonder why people would do that. You really do. But no, I understand your caution about doing that. So these tests are, well, the build is still running. It's not quite got to the test step yet. I think it's still doing the static analysis. But so what are you printing next? Have you got another print lined up after that one's complete? Just running the unit tests now. Starting a new interval. Go. Calipers for scale. Ooh. Copy. Paste it. Paste. That. Go. Pretty. Another successful print. Okay, so that's creating the chocolate packages. So this builds, I can run the release notes to generate the release notes, and at that point, we're at a shipping point. It's been a long time coming, but we should finally have saw something better. Oh my gosh. Okay. That build succeeded. So then if we go into CD in GitHub, organizations, tools, GitReleaseManager, then if we run build with target equals release notes, and in theory, assuming the token is correct, no, it's often that didn't go through, I don't think. So I was slightly distracted. I just saw something on Twitter that I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there's someone else painting it. Right. Okay, fine. Why did that? Oh no, it is doing. Okay. Unable to use GitReleaseManager as necessary credentials are not available. Why are necessary credentials not available? What version of cake.recipe are we using here? Because they should be. So if we go in here and we look in here, then oh, hold on. It's looking for a specifically named one. Look, we're going to have to go at this. So let's pull this. Oh, and it was actually the wrong. It was actually the wrong thing as well. So back off of here so that I can go back to my environment variables. Maurice will be very proud of me that I'm not giving away my tokens. Copy, paste, okay, okay, okay. This. Yeah. Manager. Bring this back up to here. So let's do build.sh target equal release notes again. One more time. Should hopefully generate a set of release notes. We're at the point of creating release notes. Fingers crossed. Generating release notes. So that's it there. Not entirely sure why that's got a big. Not entirely sure why that's got a big space in it. But if we were to go here, then boom. Kim saying had to leave for a while. We're getting there. So I fixed all the unit tests. Where we're at now is I'm literally just away. Click the button. Hopefully. Now the last PR that I did was for approval tests. So that should be. Oh no, it won't be because it's a build. Yes. Okay, that's fine. I was gonna wait to say we've got a bug, but I don't think we do because they're not included because they are marked as excluded. One thing that I will have to do for the sake of sanity is copy link address. I'm going to remove this one from the milestone. It's for completeness. And then this one from here. And I'm going to say super heated by this one. And then might make a small alteration to the release notes, let's say 47 rather than 48. Yes. So I'm going to make a slight modification to this rather than running the entire release notes generation again. Say save draft. Okay. So then back to here, we should be able to now say git switch master, git merge noff from the release branch. A lot of stuff there. Why is that got backups? Got backup. Understand why it's taking that out. But I'm going to undo both of those changes. So git push upstream, git push origin. So assuming that all of that goes through, I'm going to click the publish, and we're going to have a new release of GitReleaseManager 0.12.0 will then be hitting the new Git feeds, ready for consumption. Now the other thing that I was gonna look into at some point is that someone told me that there is a new version of PoshGit that now has support for the switch command, and it will autocomplete. But what I don't know is how I had previously installed it. I have PoshGit here, so that is version list only. I have PoshGit 0.7.3. So while that build's happening, I'm going to go out and have a look. On it on this machine. PoshGit. I wonder if chocolate package hasn't been updated. I'm wondering if the module has been updated, but the chocolate package hasn't. version 1. Or PowerShell. Oh, what? When was the one before that? Release says lots of betas. Yeah, I don't have version 1, and version 1 is not on. So how do you install it? That becomes the next question. Yeah, no, it's Keith. Is it Keith? Yes, Keith Dolby is the. How does one install it then? These instructions on Windows, get execution, blah blah blah. So it's just a straight up install module. He's still got Chocolatey on there. I may ask him. I may just do that while that build's happening. Keith. Oh. Quick question. Now there's not a version that's in moderation or anything like that, is there? Just checking that version. No. Could also direct him to the issue about the latest version not being able on Chocolate. No discussion there. I'm just asking him on Twitter. Quick question: are there? Do you have a plan to push a new package version of Posh to? And okay, which is something I remember about. Again, it was Corey. It was showing me. I was pairing with Corey the other day, and I was like, "Oh, go and switch to a branch." And then he did git switch, and I saw him hit tab, and I'm like, "That doesn't work." He's like, "Oh, it does." Like, no, it doesn't. And then he had a newer version than what I had installed, but I think he installed the module rather than the chocolate package. So I've asked Keith on Twitter. Now, what was the issue that you directed me to? 772. Open this file by the look of it. The latest version of PoshGit available on Chocolate 1. Is it possible to update? So there's been a request out for a while then. Okay, we probably shouldn't bombard them with requests. Oh no, you don't need to refresh. It automatically updates. Is that you volunteering to update the chocolate package, Maurice? That would be great. So build. Assuming that this builds epic. I'll let you know if I get a response on Twitter about it. I can add it to the 175 other packages. Numbers getting big. Numbers getting big. Good work. I saw someone, it was, who was it that was saying thank you? Oh, it was Thomas, wasn't it? Thomas was saying thank you for all the packages that you are updating. Your Windows terminal package that he was referring to. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? There we go. Right. Let's do it. Let's do it. So releases. Yeah, Thomas is a good guy. It's great to see him providing that feedback. 13,600,000. That's an impressive number, to be fair. Oh, this is something that we need to add for when you're drafting a release. It's an option, an additional option for. I think we added an issue about it. If not, we need to add it because you can create a discussion for the release and then it ties them together. Really cool. Let's publish. So that will kick off. Kep 13 is a. Yeah, that I'm sort of cheating, to be fair. Let's not be. Profiles. Profiles Kep 13. Sort of cheating a little bit, to be fair. I've only got 29 packages, and almost all of them are not maintained by me. Almost all of them are in the core team packages repo, but I'm still attributed to them. The big one that's obviously Chocolatey, Rockstarter, etc. So yeah. Oh, Chocolate GUI as well. It's up over 1 million now as well. That was a good day. I was happy when that happened. That's building with a tag. AppVer will be building with a tag. So hopefully this should so it's about time to go through. I'm more than happy for that to happen, to be honest, because I'm not maintaining those packages. So if that's the right thing to do, then absolutely. It's not really fair for my name to still be attributed to them. My number 1 package is no longer on page 1. Control A, delete done. What was your number 1 package, Maurice? Or what? Did someone else sneak in? Or you're obviously referring to the first page of packages. So Git's gone there. I'm confused. Oh, there's been a few snuck in ahead of it. That's a shame. Jacobs, 7-zip, Darwin's. Meh, it's yeah. So assuming that this goes through, so ci.appver.com into here. I'm trying to remember who the preferred provider is. Oh, so it's still AppVer. It's still AppVer that should do the actual release. So on this build, it should generate Keith's just replied on Twitter saying maybe we should talk about that. Absolutely happy to as it this updated. Symbol print with the other parts. So sorry, Maurice, what are you saying about feature.chat? Is it not working? I've not logged into there in a while. So it could be that I need to do something. Log in. Email. Disable. Saying chat is paused. Why is chat paused? It is working again once I logged in, but not showing history. It's saying chat is paused for some reason, but I don't understand why. Yeah, that's what's happening to me as well. I don't understand what's going on there. Oh, there we go. This message has a moderation issue with a reason of error. What happened there? Don't know what you did there, Maurice. Uploading artifacts. No. Dead gem. So if I do the plus sign, moderation check. This message has a moderation issue of. So add anyway. Yeah, it doesn't. That doesn't work, does it? Don't know what's going on there. Oh. No. Oh, what happened there? Somebody did something. So what was that? What's that? What did you do? Oh, you did one manually. Is that what you did? Yes, okay. Huh. It's not me doing any of those. I trust my moderators. That's a bad decision. Just wondering if there's any sort of way of feature. Where does that go? There is a Discord channel about features chat. So it could be that I maybe reach out to those folks to see if there's any known issues with it. Maybe a job for a different, not just now. Still building. Oh, what's it doing now? Oh, it's uploading assets. This is a good sign. He says, maybe, oh, maybe not. Oh, is it doing it? Oh, it's doing it. It's doing the thing with the stuff. It's updating all the issues that were on the milestone. Maurice, I don't know if you've seen the response from Keith on Twitter. He's asking like, what's the best way of setting up a PowerShell module installable from Chocolatey? Are you in a position to point him to an example? I know that Paul's got a few, but I think you've got some too, of a straight up PowerShell module being added as a Chocolatey package. Would you be able to respond to that, please? Publish release packages. They are being pushed to. Looks very much like it is pushing to Chocolatey. That looks promising. Oops. Git release manager here. Version 3. Yeah. Oh, not quite yet. Oh. That's not good. It's not good. I'm going to look at something on my other screen to see if I can figure out what went wrong with that push to Chocolatey. If I go over here, then there were 47 issues on the release itself, Kim, but quite a few of those were build related issues, so 20 sounds about right. I go over here and look at this, and then look at this, copy, paste, yeah. Portable. push to chocolatey failed. Which is not good. We'll need to re-upload that. $52. That's interesting. The release itself, well, it seems to have worked. It probably hasn't closed the milestone. Oh no, it has closed the milestone. It hasn't published to... I forget where we actually published to now. Do we have... I don't think we have a package over here, do we? Get release manager. Oh no, we got the tool, obviously. So if we were to go here and then look at here, oh, it is there. Okay, cool. So it's made it to NuGet, but it didn't make it to chocolate. Unfortunate. So that means then that the release won't have been updated with the nup kegs, or will it? No, it has. It did all of those things, but it failed the nup keg. So we need to download this one and publish it again to chocolatey. So I could do that. I won't do that just now because I want to finish off this part. So we do a git switch to develop, do a git merge off from the release branch, push that here, and we do that to there. That then allows us to do, so yeah, 47 sounds good. Thank you for replying to that, Maurice. I appreciate it. Example that you sent him to is for code health, which includes chocolate install, which is directly running the install module. Is that right? File. Not actually doing. Oh, so it's removing the module. Oh, so that's included, and then moving. Gotcha. Move item source path to the destiny. Okay, gotcha. So that's that, and then gimp branch -d release that one. Git branch that. So let me catch up here. Oh, I see what you're referring to. Yes. 47. Okay, cool. So we're all on the same page. So the release has happened. Did the tweet go out? No, a tweet won't have gone out because it didn't succeed correctly. So what we should do then is because the chocolate push failed. Agreed. So let's see if I can't do a quick publish then. So let's do this. I don't have an API key configured, so I'm going to take this down here, and I'm going to do a cd into C users get 13 downloads choco push git release manager -k. Let's go up here. Profile account. Go copy. Paste. See if we can push it manually. That just went straight up. Okay. So that went up fine. Don't know what went on, but that's there. And then let's get the wording of the Twitter message, which is here. Copy into TweetDeck. New from here. New version of GitReleaseManager has just been released. Do we not include a version number? No, we don't. So let's a new version of GitReleaseManager. Let's say B0.12.0 has just been released. Get it from Chocolate NuGet or as a NuGet global tool. Once all package indexing and moderation steps. Tweet. Going to like that. Retweet it. And let's grab this. Copy. Twitter. I did. Thank you. So Git tools. Oh, where's Git tools? GitReleaseManager into here, into there, into here. GitReleaseManager B0.12 just been released. Okay, so the package details page, version history. It's been over a year. Yes. Slack channel, maybe we probably should. Not on Slack on this machine. But let's go into here. Where are we? Here. Now I've got an unread message in there. Oh, we can do it in here. Let's do it in here. So I've got an unread message because there's something in there I need to reply to, and I've not had a chance. But I'll put it in the releases channel. Smiley face. There we go. Well, I'm not going to put it in general because I would have to go in and unmark that or remark it as unread. But I'll wait and go in there in a second. Okay, so that's me done. We got done what I wanted to do today, which was to ship Git Release Manager. Oh, well, this unread message has been unread for a while. It's not just a day. It's on my to-do list, but if I mark it as read, I'll forget to mark it as unread, and yeah, bad things happen. So it's my coping mechanism to go back to it at some point, but it won't be today. So I'm going to say I'll leave it the way it is. Okay. So for now, I'm going to say that we're done. So thank you very much for hanging out tonight. I do appreciate it. This will be hopefully me back to the regular streaming cadence. So hopefully we should be back next week at the same time. I haven't got any firm plans as to what that will entail yet, but I'll have a think about it through the week and hopefully come up with something interesting that we can get our teeth into. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good week. In terms of a recap, we shipped GitReleaseManager 0.12.0 that's, as Kim pointed out in chat, has been needing a release since March 2020. Over a year since we did the last release. There were some unit tests that we needed to fix based on changes in functionality within the library, but we fixed those up. There was then some... No, there wasn't any other issues after that. It was just a case of getting the release done, the release notes generated, and then merging it to master and publishing the release. So that's all good. And it's done. So thank you very much for hanging out, and I will talk to you all on the internet. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.